So I finally caved and got an alocasia poly. It had been on my radar for quite some time, but I wasn't sure how much I liked it or if I really wanted it. However, my local plant shop got a new shipment of alocasia polys, and there was one in particular that just looked stunning and I couldn't pass it up. Part of my new plant routine with alocasias is to just go ahead and start the transfer into pond immediately. Figured if it's going to shock, like, let's just get it all done at the same time. So today I thought I'd share with you my process on corms and what I do to get them to sprout and grow into new plants. And hopefully pretty soon I'll have 13 alocasia polys. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm Claudia, by the way. Welcome if you're new here, and if you're back, I'm so glad that you are. We're gonna do this in my kitchen because I just feel like I need a very clear, stable surface, and I'm probably going to need to rinse things or wash things in between. I want quick access to my watering jug, which is right by the sink, so kitchen island it is. So let's get set up. Recently someone asked me if I thought that the potting mat was worth it, and 1000%. I can't believe I went so long without having one, and yes, you can make do without it, but since having it, my life has changed. It just makes the messes so much easier to clean up. I can wash and disinfect between uses, and yeah, just for cleanup purposes, it's just, I can't believe I went so long without one. So if you're still thinking about it or on the fence, I highly recommend a potting mat. This is where I put the corms after I found them on the plant because I wasn't ready to take care of them right away. I was actually all out of fluval. I had very little left. So I needed to order some that arrived the next day, today. And actually, I've left corms in a situation like this for over a week before, and it was completely fine. So I assume that a day is going to be more than fine. So this is what I do, or what I've done, and what I did this time. This is just a regular takeout container. And then there is moistened paper towel at the bottom. Then I placed the corms and then another moistened paper towel on top. And I don't want to touch any of this because I have gotten a severe allergic reaction to the corms before. It happened one other time with the black velvet corms. So I'm gonna get some gloves on. My friend says these are old lady Korean gloves, and these have always just been a staple in my household since I was a kid. So here they are. And no, I did not peel some already. Some were just already peeled as I pulled them from the plant, and some still have that kind of outer layer. I have always peeled my corms in the past, so I'm inclined to want to peel all of them just for the sake of being consistent with what I know works. However, I think I'm going to leave 2 of them for the sake of experimenting and see how it goes. So yeah, I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna do. And again, I highly recommend that you wear gloves just in case you were to get an allergic reaction. Full disclosure again, I have done this many times. The only time I got an allergic reaction was with the black velvet, but it really just, I don't want that to ever happen again. It was awful. So I'm using gloves, and I would suggest that you too, just in case. So I'll bring you closer down so that you can see what I do with the corms, and then we'll get them all set up. So anything that's like this, or actually I should just show you. All of these, I'm just going to leave and place them in my little growing cup as is. And then, to be fair, I'll leave the two biggest ones without peeling, just to see. I mean, eventually they should, you know, still sprout on their own, but I think that peeling helps speed up that process. But for the sake of experimenting, we will leave these two not peeled, and let's peel the rest. I usually just use my nails. Gloves are making this like 10 times harder than it needs to be, I feel. Something the very first time I was doing this is I noticed that the tail was falling off very easily. Totally normal, doesn't matter. They're all ready. Let me tell you, peeling corms is not for the faint of heart. It can get very like tedious, and I feel like I have to use my nails, which is kind of scary sometimes because sometimes I scratch off a little bit of the corm, but I've never had any issues with that affecting the growth of the corm. So what I do is I place them in a little container like this with fluval, and then add a humidity dome so that they are at 100% humidity. And I will place all of these in my small IKEA tabletop greenhouse cabinet for extra warmth and humidity. And they should sprout pretty quickly. I usually start to see sprouting within like 2 weeks. So it's a pretty quick process. Cups with fluval. By the way, I choose to use fluval. You can use sphagnum moss or perlite or even just water, and I've seen people have success with them, but I find that fluval is just kind of like a supercharge for corms. Corms really love them, and like I said, I usually see them sprout within 2 weeks, and they grow really nice healthy roots that would be a super easy transition to soil if that's what you would want. But for me, they would be going into pond because that's my preferred substrate for alocasias. What I'll do now is just regular water, no fertilizer, no nutrients, no nothing. I'll make sure that the fluval is nice and hydrated, and I'm going to leave the water level on the fluval about like right here. And then the humidity dome should keep humidity at about 100%. In my experience, when I do the humidity dome, I don't have to replenish the water on the fluval until there's already a leaf or two on the plant, and I then have to remove the dome because the plant no longer fits. So that's pretty good. And I'll just go and do that on all of them. With this little terrarium tool, which is basically just like extra long tweezers, I will go ahead and place each corm in its own cup. And you can do multiples in the same cup. Just keep in mind the roots are going to get super tangled, and my plan for these is to give them away, sell them, whatever, individually, so I don't want to deal with the tangleness later. So I'm doing individual cups each. This is right side up. Basically the tail goes at the bottom, and actually there's probably another corm I can show you a better example. But yeah, I just am going to place them, and I'll show you differently. I'll show you a better angle after this one. It's just, I was already committed. Okay, this is a better example, I think. This is right side up. The tail goes towards the bottom into the fluval, and the little pointy part goes to the top. Actually 13 corms. Most of them are peeled, were naturally already peeled, and I peeled some of them, and there are 2 that we are keeping not peeled, just so that we can see what the difference is in how quickly they sprout, or just anything else that we might notice. But now I'll just cover them all with the little humidity dome, and then I'll place them in the cabinet, and then we wait. What they look like. So I'll keep the fluval, make sure that it stays consistently moist. Like I said, usually when I do the humidity dome, I don't have to replenish the water or moisture in here at all until it's already sprouting and doesn't fit that I have to remove it. But I'll keep you updated on how that goes. And for now, let's just put them in my mini greenhouse. Cabinet is officially an alocasia greenhouse. To be honest, that's kind of why I got it to begin with. I wanted to start experimenting with growing corms, and I thought it to be the perfect size, so it's actually fulfilling its purpose. I'm gonna be taking progress updates maybe like once a week so that we can see where the corms are and we can compare them to the ones that I didn't peel. I will be labeling the 2 that I didn't peel just in case they get lost somewhere or I forget exactly where I placed them. And I can always reference back, like these are the 2 unpeeled ones, and we can see how that progress went. And we can see the difference of how they progressed versus the others or vice versa. But for today, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you can be notified when I upload new ones. And if you have any questions or there is anything that you want to see, please don't hesitate to leave it down below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.